Hello there, you beautiful people. My name is Willow, and welcome to another Supreme Commander Forge Alliance Forever 4v4 TMM cast on the map Plateau of Arrakis. Let's go ahead and get right into player introductions, starting with Team 1 up in the north and ending with Team 2 down in the south. And we're going to start in the west and make our way east with the Yellow Seraphim, going first land with 1525 rating behind his name, and that name is Mambo. Then, of course, we can head over to the east of him with the Maroon UEF at 1541 rating by the name of Baller. Then, of course, we have ourselves a Red Cybern going first land with 1564 rating behind their name, and it is none other than Nova Space. Then, of course, last but not least, for this first team, we have an Orange UEF going first land with 1301 rating. It is none other than Cool McGurr. Then, of course, down to the southern team, starting in the east, heading west, we have a Cyan UEF going first land with 1289 rating. It is none other than Muistel. I think that's how you say that. And then we have a Dark Blue Cybern going first land at 1663 rating by the name of Dremokus. Then, of course, we have ourselves a Light Blue Cybern going first land. He is 1921 rating and shares a name with me. It is none other than Willow Wispy. Then, of course, we have ourselves a Purple UEF going first land by 971 rating, and it is Superintendent. And with all of our players introduced, we can take a look at the map itself. We have a me clicking off the screen and making the screen black. We have 20,000 reclaim flat for these players to scoop into their coffers, and we of course are gonna be getting into it really quick. Going to pause and alright, technical difficulties dealt with. Let's go ahead and look at what these players are doing, and of course remind you to like and subscribe if you enjoy this channel. Maybe you're new, maybe you've been around a long time and you've just never clicked those buttons, but you should consider it, because helping FAF content means more people see it that don't know about the game and more people try it out. So make sure you support your FAF creators like me, the Duelist, Guile, everybody else under the sun making content. And of course, we have a bit of a cool situation here. We have Plateau of Arrakis. It's a map I've casted a few times and I've played quite a bit of. We have these two plateaus right here in the middle. They're going to be hotly contested, hotly fought for. Generally, what you're going to see is this northern team will take over about this area of the map, and the southern team will be able to take over about this area. Like that's going to be like the line of demarcation, because generally you're going to have two commanders from each side. On this side is going to be these two commanders. They're going to be able to get up here and create a nice defensive line. And then on the other side, we're expecting to see much of the same for the other team. Here in the middle, we have a lot of reclaim. So you expect players like the maroon player and sometimes even the red player show up in here and try to grab up all of this reclaim. And of course, you all are BEAUT IFUL. You all are beautiful. And that bit was dumb. But hey, we're also going to see players like, of course, Mambo trying to make their way out to these three mexes and hold on to them, make it a little bit of a proxy base, a forward operation base. And we also, of course, see the Cyan player doing much of the same. Muistel doing his own thing, and things are going to be all right. Now, of course, units now starting to trickle out from all of these bases, and these players getting set up to fight it out. We have an early bomber coming out from Dremokus. He has kind of forgotten to have it move. I think he's just waiting for interceptor or a scout to fly over, or maybe he's just forgotten that he built one in general. But we'll track it for now. We have a bomber on the other side for Nova Space that does seem to be actively going out, maybe going to try and find something. There's a bunch of engineers down here from Muistel that he could decide to focus on. And a transport Also out for Nova Space, going to be able to grab up that mechs on that kind of raised area right there. And probably also going to drop an engineer over here to grab those two mexes. That'll be pretty good for him. The bomber out from Drimicus now coming out. Going to have to see how the enemy team responds to it. And he's going for a radar, which is a very nice play. Actually, nope, he's just going for an engineer. Would like to see him turn around and drop second bomb on the radar. Oh, but he misses the engineer. That's going to be very painful to watch. Is there an interceptor on the way? I mean, there could be an interceptor coming out very soon from Nova Space, but I think he's a little bit more focused on microing his own bomber. The bomber comes in. It's going to drop a bomb onto the radar. That's going to be very annoying. Going to have to replace that. T1AA trying to chase down the bomber. Might be able to do so successfully, but the bomber going to come back around. Is it going to be able to get a bomb off onto that engineer? The engineer going to try and dodge. Is the engineer going to be able to? No, it's not. Down goes the engineer. And that's another anti-air and some interceptor showing up to kill it off. On the other side, Nova Space's bomber already dead to a T1AA. And that is going to be that. The commanders all getting out, doing their thing. Reclaim here in the middle. Almost all of it going to be going over to Nova Space, which puts Nova Space... never mind. Nova Space didn't grab all of it. Don't know how this is not resulting in more reclaim for the northern team, but they're relatively behind on reclaim. I guess other team is doing a little bit better at grabbing the natural reclaim closer to their bases. So in the long term, this should play out to be a very good reclaim play for the southern team. And of course, just waiting to see what's happening. The Mex is over here being built by Willow Wispy. He's gonna cliff build a factory to get an engineer up there. This mech's not quite taken. I think you can take this one with a cliff build, with the ACU in particular, if you stand right here. Now, of course, Mambo over here, 1525 rating, trying to flex his stuff up against someone like Superintendent. And hopefully can manage to get himself these three mexes here soon. Has his commander already walking out. As far as comm upgrades, T2 has already started for both Superintendent and Muistel, and Gun has started for Drimicus. No upgrades for any northern team players. So all of these upgrades going to end up being on the southern team players, and they're pretty close to finishing quite a few of them. 80 almost 90% right now for the T2 upgrade on Superintendent. That's going to be finishing up momentarily. Maybe going to try and throw up some triads around this area. Yep, he's going to throw them up right there. These walls are reclaimable, so they won't be in the way for too long, and he does move them a little bit further out. That might be a mistake, as he's about to be walking right into a bunch of units, but those are his own units. I'm not paying close enough attention. I'm still rusty. Oh yeah, I used to like watching Willowcast, but after he took his little break, he just keeps messing up. He just doesn't know anything that's going on. It really sucks. Cool McGurr getting an upgrade onto his commander, getting T2 now. Speed and range getting upgraded slowly but surely right now for Drimicus, even getting some assistance out from Willow, who is throwing together some Mantis with their one build power to help out. And that upgrade should be finishing relatively soon. And here in the middle, Willow going to be able to force out Nova Space, but Nova Space going to be happy with this situation. He got all of the reclaim there. Hasn't gotten much of the reclaim. I guess that was rightfully his near his base, but overall reclaim numbers, they're looking relatively even. 3,000 lead, 14-2. And that's going to be a dead factory for Willow to reclaim, and he'll want to. 189 mass, not a bad little pickup there. And that's a very fast eco timing out. Almost 100 mass a second already for the 1900 rated Willow Wispy. He's kind of a legend after what happened on the Guilecast with his Telly Billy Nuke play. Now, of course, tactical missile launcher out from Muistel. I don't know if there's too much of value he can even really pick up with this. You can just start firing at mexes and hope that they're T2. And a few of them very much so will be, but any of them out from his opponent, Cool McGurr, will be a kind of wasted missile. I mean, I guess some of them are upgrading, so that would still be a little bit worth it. Now, over here to the north, we have a run-by coming out from Drimicus, and he's gonna get a lot of value out of this. A T2 Max, I'd love to see him select a few of his units here, especially this artillery. Just tell it to kill off that Max, but he wants to get inside the base, it would seem. And now he's getting shot at by pillars coming out from Baller. This base, T2 PD does go up, that will deal with that. T2 Mechs living, really not too much value. That was more of a mass dump than anything up from Drimicus. If he had just paid a little bit more attention, could have gotten a T2 Mechs and maybe moved up and gotten a little bit more, but I think he was worried about getting caught by the army out from Mambo. Mambo Wambo. And over here to the west, we have Superintendent pushing in, and there's multiple Mexes that are going to be very weak here. The army for Mambo going to take a while to get over there, of course. So he may be able to focus down this T2 Max. He does see it. Would love to see him just right-click on it and then try and fall back the second it's dead. Shouldn't take too long with all of these units out here on the field. And yeah, that mech's going to go down very quickly. Investment that's definitely not going to pay off for Mambo. And it's time to run away, and he does do so. Very nice little play coming out from Superintendent there. Now over here in the far east, we of course have this large Scion army, but he's now 2 versus 1. It's going to have to be a little bit careful up against Cool McGurr and, of course, Baller, who are going to be in very good positions. T2 land already coming out from Baller, as we have already seen, and he's going to be in a very strong position there. Willow is up to T3 air at sub 12 minutes, already has an ASF out. That is going to be a very tight timing. Both sides getting that, though. So no distinct advantage in the air just yet. Does he go for a bomber? Nope, he's just going to play it safe, go for some more ASF, and play in the middle with his commander. T2 now on the way for Mambo. Wants to maybe throw up a couple of PD right here just to stop any more run-bys like what just happened. And get his own T2 Mexes up. Fight over here. Oh, look at it. All of the projectiles flying around. I have missed this game. Missed watching all of this carnage. Beautiful, beautiful carnage. In the middle, Will-O-Wisp under a lot of fire. Some pillars now trying to chase him down. Does have a Cerberus, will have overcharge. Probably nothing that's going to be too threatening to his life. That's something to be a little bit worried about here, as land for his team is a little bit light. Some hoplites out in the field are trying to help him out. The commander of Drimicus now being walked down by Baller. Nova Space and, of course, Baller starting to walk out towards Will-O-Wispy and Drimicus, and both of them getting very low on HP. Will-O-Wispy may have bitten off a little bit more than he can chew. The hoplites coming in, they're trying to slow down Nova Space. Nova Space still going to continue to fire onto that commander of Will-O-Wispy, and does have stealth, so no return fire is going to come out, even if Will-O-Wispy had the gun upgrade. He's going to turn around and he's going to try and fight, but it's just not going to work for him. I think this is going to be Will-O-Wispy going down. He's going to get on a transport. Does the transport get overcharged at the perfect moment? Oh, no, the transport does get away, but in comes ASF, and down goes Willow. And oh no, it's a disaster. Highest rated player in the game going down here at the 13-minute mark. Southern team going to really feel that loss. He does have a very strong economy, and it's most likely going to be handed over to Drimicus. He does still have air. He still will be in an okay position, but that's a huge play coming out from Nova Space and Baller, as they also take down Drimicus. Apologies, everybody. I'm still getting used to casting again, and I forgot how much it tears up your throat. But that was a huge play. They also managed to get Drimicus, which means it's now a 1200 and a 900 up against 3 1500s and a 1300. This game has gone from very even to very lopsided as far as player skill goes here in a very short time, but the economy cannot be understated. Right now, Muistel is going to be sitting on a major economy. His team overall is slightly behind, but he himself is already within the territory of getting up experimentals. That focused, concentrated mass can be huge, and he's already starting to spam out those T3 land units, those bricks, out for his team. And Willow going down along with Drimicus is just such a huge blow to this Southern team. Two highest rated players in the game taken out in an instant. And that is, of course, going to be a very interesting turn in this game. We're going to have to see exactly how well Muistil can manage the three bases. Luckily, they're all very close to each other, but unfortunately, it's two different techs, so it's going to make it a little bit difficult. Can't just double-click on mexes and see what's going on. But he is getting more and more T3 mexes, and I would assume that his team, some of them are going to give him pings to help him out, or maybe they're in voice chat. But Muistil gonna most likely want to get up to T3 as quickly as possible and get out some T3 engineers and throw out an experimental. The Titans over here are going to be huge. Nobody really on the northern team has massive T3 production like he can afford right now. So he does have a slight advantage in the moment, being able to pump out these bricks. And once they can reach the front line with their slow, stubby legs, should be alright. And now Muistil, he's doing everything he can. Run-bys are going to be the bane of his existence. It's APM tax is what you have to do whenever you get in these situations. Your opponent is still respectable as far as economy is concerned, because most of the safe economy is back at home. So we'll have to see. And overall, Team 2 now ahead on economy, thanks to Muistil, who's cresting 400 mass a second once another mech upgrades. He's going to have to get up more power. He's starting to build up a power grid for his air production, which he's going to be able to get online before Nova Space has his own. But Nova Space is going to have a little bit more time to commit to microing his ASF. So that might be enough for him. Here in the middle, Titans on a rampage, killing off all these T1 units and T2 units out from Mambo. And it seems like very soon we're going to see a very big fight break off in one of these positions. I'm thinking over here to the east there's going to be a huge fight. He's trying to funnel bricks into the middle though, and those could be huge. The Titans do finally go down, but now it's Ilshivas versus bricks, and that's very bad for the Ilshivas, and they're outnumbered. These bricks in the middle are going to be very huge for this southern team. Now the air grid going online. He's assisting the first factory. He's getting out more ASFs constantly. His tactical missile launcher play I don't think did too terribly much for him, but I wasn't able to keep an eye on it. And now kind of in a waiting position where we're waiting to see what happens. Percival's now coming out from Superintendent. I know that Superintendent and Willow very much so like to stack together, so they're probably in voice chat. And if I had to guess, Willow is just giving him all the advice he can, all of that 1900 rated advice. Superintendent's gonna do his best. Has a tactical missile launcher, but there's really nothing he's gonna be able to get with it. That's a clink hammer over here on the front line. Such a power vacuum left by this, but all of these units just pumping out of these factories, all these T3 units, there's just nothing on the northern side that's really coming close. I mean, I guess you could claim Baller is doing alright, but he's building Titans. He's going to be going up against bricks. Sure, there's some Titans coming out from Cool McGurr. T3 has been finished up, and we might be seeing some Authams start coming out in the field, but there's just such a jump on the production side. Overall reclaim, though, Team 1 still behind. Muistil sitting on 21,000 reclaim. He's doing a very good job of it, and he's now just forcing pull McGurr and Baller out of this eastern side, and he's gaining more map control. Needs to be a little bit worried about this. There are some Titans here to help deal with it, and you can divert some bricks. But this push here in the middle could be a problem. Coming out from Mambo. Titans really don't trade very efficiently against Ilshavas. They will trade out, at least numbers-wise, pretty okay. But the second the bricks show up and they're on the way along with a Percival, these Ilshavas have no chance here. They too kill off some of those Titans. And with the engineers coming out of this factory for the attack wave, they'll be able to reclaim all of this. So that's a pretty good situation over there for Muistel. Now Muistel trying to push over here on the eastern side. Does he have anything like an experimental on the way? That's what I'd be looking for, but no! He's going for an early nuke launcher. That must be a heads-up play, because the other side, getting up an anti-nuke when you're also trying to deal with all of this land spam that's encroaching on you, it's just a lot to manage, and honestly, it's starting to feel like Muistel just has it. He's doing so well. He's winning on multiple fronts. Superintendent is holding just fine, has his own Percival spam coming up. He's ahead of Mambo as far as units is concerned. As long as he doesn't take a massively bad fight over here, or air doesn't get involved in a way that you can't respond with, he should be alright. Just needs to be careful with that commander. Would even love to see that commander just run back to the base, if I'm completely honest. Now, the fight over here, there's some T3 involved. There's a lot of artillery, a lot of Lobos, and they will do very well against the bricks. The Titans will come in and deal with that very well. The commander's also showing up, trying to throw some overcharges out. Huge mass field being created right here. Moose still needs to be careful not to leave too much reclaim on the field for his opponents. But now we have a bunch of bricks coming in here in the back, and he could just take out Baller if he felt like it. But no, maybe not. The Percivals could be an issue, and this Percival ball is starting to get a little bit scary. That's a lot of bricks. He needs to start moving those out. That's a bad rally point. If that's a rally point issue, he needs to notice that those exist. Somebody needs to ping them. Those 10 bricks right there could be very useful. But the nuke is about to finish building. Where is the anti-nuke? Have they spotted it? They have no idea that that's going up. And that is going to be a brutal play coming out from Muistel. He just has to hold on. And that nuke could be the game decider here. Over here to the northwest, we have a T2 army coming out from Superintendent, and he's just going to shut down these 3 T2 mexes yet again. Even has some Percivals with it to help out, but in the middle, the Percival ball out from Baller is getting quite big and quite scary. They trade very well into bricks. We're going to have to start seeing Percivals coming out from Muistel himself, but he's built an experimental. He's built a Monkey Lord. Didn't even notice that he was building a Monkey Lord, a nuke launcher. Is he stalling mass is the question. He just needs to not stall mass for a little bit, and I think he might know that. And as long as he does that, he's alright. SMD on the way, but it's going to be built slower. Do they know of the nuke? They still don't know of the nuke, so that won't be like a huge priority for him. He's probably going to build it, and I doubt he's going to assist it. Was that an entire minute slower? I don't know. It's going to be a very close race. That's something we're going to have to keep our eyes on. Meanwhile, we also want to keep our eyes on this Monkey Lord. As long as it doesn't go where the Percival ball is, it can be very, very effective. Maybe even send it with Superintendent stuff. Just try and pull a lot of aggro over here to the west and then attack with your own units in the east. Or just send it with your own huge ball of units over here in the east. And he's now starting to make his way back to the base with that commander. Doesn't want to get sniped. And Laser now on the way for Nova Space. Ball of Percivals. First Percival goes down, but there's going to be bricks going down very soon. That extra range on the Percival is going to be a bit brutal here. bit of an air fight taking place, and this could be crucial. Who's going to be able to win it? It's still a little bit hard to tell. They're not fighting over very much AA, so I think that this is going to be a win for Nova Space, but it's going to be a very small win. No, actually, Moosel with the reinforcements shows up, wins the air fight, and that's going to be a huge, and oh no, it's a disaster for this Northern team. The nuke is about 40% done. The anti-nuke is about 20. The nuke... Oh no, Baller, he's mass stalling. Or he's going to be very soon trying to build this Novax that's going to slow him down quite a little bit on getting this SMD. I don't think they've spotted the nuke yet. They've spotted it, but they haven't taken precautions nearly as much as they should. A fatty has been spotted under construction over here for Superintendent. The Monkey Lord. Where is it? It's over here in the far north, and he's doing what I was mentioning, going up with Superintendent. But he has to be careful about the giant Percival ball over here. Careful not to just throw away this monkey. It can be a huge point of power right now for him, especially if he gets his own units over here, his own Percival ball, and all of these shields helping him out. He completely shut down all of this production over here for Mambo. Huge plays coming out from the 1300 and 900 on this Southern team. And we're up to about 60% now on that nuke. The anti-nuke isn't even halfway. It's being assisted now, but Baller is still mass stalling, so that assistance isn't going to matter. And there's so much assistance now on this nuke. I think the nuke fires and it lands. Question is, who's the target? Who do you focus down with that first nuke launch? And you need to launch it on spawn. On completion, Baller has built an experimental of his own. Novax is now done. That could be a huge play here. The land fight now kicking off. The Percivals are focusing on the bricks, but the Monkey Lord is going to be coming in and it's going to be able to fire so much of its laser's damage in towards those Percivals. The Percivals all stop and fire on the Monkey Lord, but is that going to be enough? Even if he kills the Monkey Lord now, there's this massive T3 army between Superintendent and, of course, Moosel himself. There's just not enough Percivals to continue to take this fight with the Percivals on the other side, with the bricks on the other side. And now this entire area is just going to be wiped. The Corsairs coming out. We have an air response coming up from Moosel. He needs to respond with his own air, but this attack should be able to get in and deal some damage, maybe even take down this T3 production for Mambo. That's going to be a huge investment for him, and almost T3 mechs as well. That's going to be a huge pickup for Superintendent, and now the commander of Mambo under threat could just die to all of these bricks. If that happens, that will be painful. Ravagers going up on this hill trying to slow this down. Now Mambo's comm is the next thing they're going to be firing at realistically. Corsairs coming out trying to deal with the bricks firing on towards Mambo. Mambo is going to continue to walk away. He's down to 6,000 HP. The bricks seem very, very dead set on killing that off. Chicken, halfway done, not really going to be finished. Nuke is loaded. Is the anti-nuke loaded? No, it's not. If he fires now, he wins the game, I'm pretty sure, but I think he's afraid. He's seen the anti-nuke. He's afraid of trying to deal with it. Mambo gonna run away, survive by the skin of his teeth. And now that everything's been drawn out here, all of that huge fight has been done. We see the large push over here on the eastern side. Laser is finished up for Nova Space. He's trying to get cloaking. If he can get it, that will be huge, but that's a very expensive upgrade. And Moosel is taking it a little bit slower. The Fat Boy over halfway done. Oh man, he didn't take the shot.
Strategic launch detected.
And the nuke has been fired. I was taking a drink. Stay hydrated, everybody. And that nuke is going to land. So the bases of both Cool McGurr and Nova Space are forfeit at this point. He's not going. It's not a game of Monopoly. You do not pass go. You do not get $200. you lose everything. And oh no, it's a disaster for Team 1 as they lose so much there. Luckily, they don't lose the HQ, I don't believe. No, they do lose the HQ. No, they don't. Never mind. I'm being dumb. But with the cloak laser comm here, he has to get up some form of omni detection there. And the air grid over here goes down due to the Novax. And the SMD now being targeted. Do they have a nuke is the question. I guess that's just a kill it as a just in case kind of thing. Or maybe that's pings to put shields over it. Yeah, that was a ping from allies, I think. And the nuke lands, killing off a grand total of 52,000 mass worth of structures there. Cool McGirt eating the brunt of it, but Nova Space not coming off unscathed either. And Cool McGirt is kind of the main man holding this down. I mean, Nova Space does have that commander, but that commander isn't something you really want to be risking. The anti-nuke is going to go down now. Superintendent has now built his Fat Boy. And the Percival ball over here to the west is now pretty much uncontested, and that's going to be a ton of reclaim coming into this western team, or this northern team's coffers. T3 now on the way after getting advanced, what was it, advanced RAS? ARAS? Now for Mambo. He's starting to try and spam up chickens. Anti-nuke's getting loaded. One now loaded, 4 ballers, so the nuke play won't be as significant anymore. Over here to the east, very large army for Muistal, but they need to keep the momentum. They need to keep things going their way. They're now behind economically, and reclaim is about to get very bad for them. With things like this Monkey Lord wreck and all of the fighting wreck over here. Just this area, 69,000 reclaim. They've kept the fighting on the enemy side of the map, but that's coming back to bite them right now. A couple of drops over here to the east, a bunch of Lobos being dropped, and the ASF's out of position, so we're going to see some T2 mexes going down here. And that is even a Titan on that drop. That will be quite huge. Strategic launch detected. Where is it going? It's going over here for the forward production of Cool McGirt. And if Cool McGirt doesn't move the Titans efficiently, he could even lose a lot of those. That forward production going down is going to be a big deal, but honestly, he's not even using it. He can't. And we now have a megalith over here to the east. I didn't even notice that finished. And that could be very, very, very big for Muistal. He has such a large army over here. It is a lot of T1 artillery, but there's also a lot of T3 mixed in there. And all of these T3 units over here, all these bricks. That megalith could be the deciding factor here. The chicken isn't going to finish in time. The Fat Boy might. I mean, I guess the chicken could finish in time, but it dies to the megalith anyways. And now we have to wait and see exactly how all of this is going to go down. Mambo has finished the chicken, can send it over here to try and deal with the Fat Boy. The Fat Boy can win that fight as long as it's microed properly. The nuke is still loading for the next time. Novax has gotten a lot of value. 36,000 mass killed. And the air game should be firmly in the hands of Nova Space, but these doesn't feel like he necessarily has enough to deal with it, and now there's anti-air proliferating throughout these armies. So things like Corsairs will be less of an issue. And now we see the Megalith pushing in. That Cloak laser comm could be huge, the Percivals could be huge, but Megalith is a very hard question to answer right now for this northern team. And if Nova Space goes down, that's going to be a huge blow to this northern team. The Titans are going to move in, but these Titans are just so outclassed, and the Percivals are going down one by one thanks to the Megalith. Not to mention the Bricks and Percivals firing back at them, and this is just an army that I think that this Team 1 is ill-equipped to deal with. And meanwhile, while all this is happening, the chicken on the other side is trying to clean up the army and the fat boy of Superintendent. But I think that this chicken is not going to be able to get too much done. We see the chicken is going to be able to take down the fat boy. Never mind, I was wrong. But Nova Space, the second that comm is detected, the second they get detection over it, that comm is pretty much one volley here. Megalith not having Omni is a little bit painful right here. Fight over here in the west, going very well for the northern team. But Nova Space can now be detected, and down goes his comm. Oh no, it's a disaster. And with that, I think that this is just over. That Megalith is so healthy. Still 30,000 HP. How do you deal with it? Like, a fat boy is going to be coming up, but this base is just forfeit. All of these units are going to just pour into that base. Now we see the Ravager spam over here is going to try and hold this back. He has another fat boy on the way. If that can complete, maybe he can hold this off. He needs some help out from Muistel. Maybe even just start spamming up some stingers to throw at this. Or renegades, I guess. Artillery about to finish off, and this is just the tale of the northern team going for standoff technology while the southern team is saying, okay, I'll punch you in the face. Down goes that T3 artillery piece. He's trying to reclaim with the hives, but it's just not working. Another chicken gonna show up over here. If he can keep a buffer zone and just constantly fire at the chicken with the Megalith, Megalith could survive this. And of course, let's turn on the mini-map again. And check over here on the western side. That push out from Baller is gonna be very big. Megalith, it's most likely gonna go down to this chicken. But all of these T3 units are still in the base. They're still a problem. And another experimental, another Megalith has been finished up over here on the western side. That can help defend. Chicken does bring down, does fell the Megalith here on screen for us. All of the projectiles flying around. This attack finally going to peter out after taking out 2 whole bases. And I accidentally clicked off the screen again. Now over here in the west, this is the question, can this army do what the army on the east did? And personally, I'm thinking the answer is no, not with the Megalith, not with the Fat Boy, and only with 1 experimental on this side. A very difficult ask. Maybe you can take out the Fat Boy really, really quickly with all of these bricks and Percivals. Or actually just Percivals. Strategic launch detected. He got the anti-nuke. There's another anti-nuke there, but I don't think it's going to cover it. And Muistel and Superintendent have pulled off the hero comeback after losing their strongest team members. This is cleaned up now. The nuke most likely going to land, and that gets rid of a lot of reclaim, a lot of the comeback potential that maybe Baller would have had. And Novak's going to go down too. And now it's pretty much Mambo versus the world. But he doesn't have the economy to be fighting that, really. The world is winning. And down goes, of course, Baller. Mambo, he's trying to get out as many chickens. He's got chickens, he's got fat boys, he's got all these experimentals, and he needs a game-winning experimental push. That's his only chance of coming back into this, but he doesn't have T3 UEF HQ anymore, which means he can only really produce out of his own factories as far as T3 units are concerned. Let's end this super. They're gonna push forward. A chicken in the middle, moments away from death. And over here to the west. We're going to be seeing the megalith with its supporting army killing off everything it can. That chicken ion storm is going to be a problem, but it's not a lengthy one. And here soon it's going to go away. Will McGurr sent units over to Mambo. Or no, he received units from Mambo. Received a bunch of experimentals and units to try and push on this eastern side. You have to get aggressive if you're this northern team. The long game does not favor you. A Duke now halfway done for Muistel. TML's pointed out over here. They're not really... I guess they're threatening maybe an experimental that could walk over, but good to always point it out. And you can see all of the pings on the map coming out from Willow and Drimacus trying to help them to their team, telling them to reclaim everything. And over here in the east, the double chickens, they're gonna push, and there's really very little to stop that push. Overall, you could just get up another experimental. I would be surprised. I mean, I am surprised that we're seeing 2 Dukes being built, but no more megaliths, especially with the knowledge of all of this. You need megas, not arty, says Willow. Glad that we agree on that one. Or at this point, just spam up some Ravagers and make it impossible for the chickens to ever push you down if you really want that artillery. And Cool McGurr with the double chickens with his Percivals pushing in. Yet again, there's just very little to be able to stop this. That could be a problem. All of the attention now focused over onto a Fat Boy. Superintendent starting shield on the commander. Fat Boy on Fat Boy battle, but it always goes the way of the one with extra shields. And this push coming out from Muistel. It's looking like maybe the southern team is throwing a little bit. These chickens now coming out and pushing down despite the economic disadvantage, despite everything. It's starting to look on the up and up for this northern team. Mambo is rebuilding at an incredible rate and has now managed to get the economic lead. But Mambo goes down due to the megalith and the bricks. So it's now on Cool McGurr, who's going to inherit this base. This push, I think, can be dealt with. But will it is the big question. Cool McGurr inheriting a lot of this base, inheriting so much. He needs more experimentals. He's still pushing this south side. Now there's an army that might be able to deal with the chickens. It'll be close. Fat Boy is going to finish up. Most likely before the chickens can make it into the base to stop construction. Drimicus saying to bomb that. And I think I agree, the strap bombers will be hugely effective there. There's still a lot of ASF that can be sent by Cool McGurr to deal with it. But he might be at his limits here trying to fight off everything coming on towards this base. Mambo needed to survive. He needed to be out of that situation. He was the highest rated player left in the game, and he was doing a really good job at rebuilding. This game still could go either way. The chicken's now starting to eat a lot of damage thanks to these Revenant strategic bombers, but the ASF out from Cool McGurr now finally responding. First chicken looking like it's going to go down. The army out for Muastul is now starting to walk its way towards the double chickens. The Ion Storm from the first chicken may be a problem for the second. All of these Percivals have to get some value here for Cool McGurr. Because on the northern side, he's starting to lose a little bit with his Fat Boys. But this chicken still having 7,000 HP. Another bomb comes in. But I think the chicken gets underneath that shield before it goes down. No, it doesn't. Could be a big problem. The chicken, this other chicken, pretty much full HP. It's going to eat a little bit from the Ion Storm, but as long as it can get away from it, the Ion Storm might be able to help out in killing off all of these bricks and Percivals. The ASF fight happened, and it seems both sides came out with nothing. But the chicken is going to get ranks of veterancy like no other right now, just from blowing up the structures right here. It's wasting a lot of time and damage on that shield, but it gets 2 ranks of veterancy just right there. More strap bombers are always coming out. The Megalith is going to show up to try and deal with this. If it can get on top of these T3 mexes, you can hope for the RNG to help you, and that's the best you can go for there. But he's managed to defend over here in the west. Fat Boy didn't die, but he managed to push it back. I'm going to take a drink of water really quick. Alright, I am back. My throat is destroyed. This is the last cast of the stream today, so we should be alright. By the way, I'm live streaming these casts, in case you want to watch live ever. Subscribe and turn on and click the bell to make sure you're notified. And of course, nuke launcher now out for Cool McGurr. That anti-nuke was rebuilt and it's loaded. And the Duke is now firing for Superintendent. And that might be all she wrote. Cool McGurr, he's just gonna need, he's going for T3 artillery. It feels obvious to me that the play is you take all of the mass that you have, all 700 mass a second, and you throw everything into experimentals. Or everything into a snipe. Your only real play left. Nuke launcher goes down. Drimicus and Willow saying the same exact things. And we've kind of slowed down a little bit. Let's go ahead and just speed it up just a tad bit here. Duke's going to continue firing. There's almost no shielding to speak of, so you can just focus the power grid and pretty much win this. You kill off the power grid and he has no way to produce anything anymore. And the T2 artillery over here harassing that Fat Boy, becoming a real issue. Fat Boy in the middle with 2 ranks of veterancy trying to push back everything by himself. And the artillery production, he has shields going up, but It's not enough. SMD goes down. Luckily, that wasn't the Hovatham. Considering there's no nuke on the other side now. And the strap bombers come in and they kill off the power grid, and you can see immediately Cool McGurr, he's gonna go into a power stall, and I think that's gonna be all she wrote. He's gonna have to build power. He built a nuke, which is very not what you need when you're about to go in a power stall. No, he's managing to stay out of it. I guess the RAS SCUs are enough, but now a huge land push in the middle, and it seems as though his Fat Boy was killed off. And that, I think, might be it. The push is coming in. The Ravager spam, it's trying its best. And Cool McGurr is really trying here, but his Hovatham is going to go down. The Megalith is going to push in. And against all odds, after losing a 1900 and 1600 at sub 15 minutes, the 1300 and the 900 fight off 3 1500s, and they're gonna win this game come hell or high water. Will McGurr asks for a draw, but I think all the drawings he's gonna get is a drawing of how he lost such a momentous battle. It'll be a nuclear devastation that's about to come onto him. And thank you all for watching so much. Hope you all enjoyed. Make sure to check out the live streams, like, subscribe if you are enjoying the channel. This is Willow signing off. Thank you to the Patreons and channel members.
I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. I see the world through ice covered in ink and bleach. Cross out the ones who heard my cries and watched me weep.